Dear colleagues, I have been invited to share some thoughts on the role of values in higher education institutions today. And the first question that was put to me is, how do you see the place of values in universities? My simple answer to this is that for a university to function well, it is very important that we share key values, that the community of scholars that form a university and any institution for higher education are very explicit on the values they're working for. We are used to think that if a university has a degree of autonomy in relation to the state, in relation to its funders, and if an institution enjoys a certain amount of academic freedom and isn't constantly threatened by interventions to limit that academic freedom, value issues are neutral, are okay. The topic is done. But I see quite a number of situations in which the value issue becomes very important. One, universities in our part of the world are a tremendous success. Are high demands on higher education, on research results. And this leads to the fact that there are quite a few stakeholders, quite a few groups in society that want something from a university. Regional authorities, students, their parents, governments, multinational industry. There is a wide variety of claims on the university, and with most of these claims come values. If I own a business and I want to cooperate with university, I'm not interested in what this university will produce in 20 years' time. I'm interested in what it produces now and next year. So short-term values are very important. Students are interested in direct value for the job market. Parents are interested in high reputation, long values. Maybe the interests of long-term research are pointing to a timeline that's very different from the short-term that we usually are confronted with. This situation of multiple stakeholders leads to a variety of values where we have to make our choices. So, in our part of the world, the issues are no longer issues of academic freedom or autonomy, but more issues of how we use that academic freedom, how we use that autonomy. Are universities really able to make good use of their independence, to be a future-oriented, independent community of scholars, making their own choices, be they long-term, be they short-term, be they directly applicable, or be they of interest to society in 10, 20 years' time? And the values that are governing those choices, societal values of long-term importance or direct incentives, direct funding, because we deliver short-term valuable goodies to society, that's the kind of choice we are to make. So the issues about values and virtues of the university in our part of the world are no longer the large issues of academic freedom and independence, but the most direct issues of how we are using that autonomy, which values do we hold in high regard. And of course, when we do research, it's important that we do it with integrity, that we use sound methods, But it's also very important how we choose which research to do and which research not. Are we planning to do the kind of research that will promote our careers, that will bring in funding? Is that the only bonus that we are expecting? Or are we working on long-term effective research projects that may not be the most beneficial in the short run? Are we working in terms of education only for the best and most talented students that bring in most money and most high reputation gains? Or are we working towards long-term equity, working with students that have lower chance of being successful, working for societal goals that have a long-term effect and may not lead to a higher reputation in the short run? That's the kind of issues that value discussions in a university should be all about. And as a president of Magna Carta Observatory, I am not so much preaching the importance of academic freedom and autonomy of universities versus governments in the European situation. But I am inviting universities to do some self-searching, to do some self-monitoring, to look whether this type of discussion about values and virtues of the university is taking place in the interest of finding a real, solid, sustainable foundation for your university in good long-term values, because it's my conviction that that's exactly what universities are for. Thank you very much.